Hey everyone, this is Christian De Leon from Group 2, and this video is all about Asian regionalism, trade war between USA and China. Now, what is Asian regionalism? Asian regionalism is a functional relation that bundles multiple nations with political, economical, and cultural inheritance often based on the geographical advantage. Trade war looms as China hits back at Trump tariffs by Quinn. As stated, China says it doesn't want a trade war, but it's not going to back down if President Trump starts one. After the Trump administration recommended new 25% tariffs on 50 billion US dollar in Chinese goods Tuesday, Beijing hit back within hours with its own proposed tariffs on 106 American products, accounting for around 50 billion US dollars in trade, raising fears of an all-out trade war between the world's two biggest economies, the New York Times reports. The new categories of American goods that would face tariffs under the move include aircraft, soybeans, and cars, which were last year's three biggest exports from the US to China. Reports The Guardian. Other goods targeted include the whiskey, tobacco, cotton, wheat, and corn. As Asian markets stumbled, a foreign ministry spokesman in Beijing slammed Trump's approach to trade issues. Those who attempt to make China surrender through pressure and intimidation have never succeeded before, and will not succeed now, said Geng Shuang. Sources tell the Wall Street Journal that many of the 106 items on China's list, including sorghum and beef, were included in an attempt to target states that voted for Trump. But both sides still have a chance to back down from the brink of trade war. China hasn't said when its tariffs will take effect, and the US tariffs are not due to take effect until May 11 at the earliest. China announced new tariffs on another 128 US products earlier this week. Now, these are the actions taken by both countries. USA imposed tariffs on 50 billion US dollar worth of Chinese goods. China retaliated by imposing tariffs on 50 billion dollars worth of US goods. Both countries engaged in negotiations to resolve the trade war. What are the impacts on both countries? This is the impact on China. The trade war with the US negatively impacted China's economy, causing a decline in exports, GDP, and job opportunities, and the yuan also weakened. This is impact on the USA. The US-China trade war has resulted in higher tariffs on Chinese goods, impacting the US economy. Businesses and consumers face rising costs. Decoding. What is the implication of this news to the world market? So after the Trump administration recommended new 25% tariffs on 50 billion US dollar in Chinese goods Tuesday, Beijing hit back within hours with its own proposed tariffs on 106 American products, accounting for around 50 billion US dollar in trade, raising fears of an all-out trade war between the world's two biggest economies. Next, why do you think the Trump administration recommended new 25% tariffs on Chinese goods? The Trump administration recommended new 25% tariffs on Chinese goods to address the US-China trade deficit, counter unfair trade practices like intellectual property theft, protect domestic industries, gain leverage in trade negotiations, and support Trump's America First policy approach. What is your opinion about China hitting back its proposed tariffs for 106 American products? During the Trump administration, the US imposed tariffs on Chinese goods, citing intellectual property and trade imbalances. China retaliated with tariffs on 106 American products. So the effects were economic impact. prices rose for certain goods in both countries due to the tariffs. Market uncertainty. Financial markets fluctuated with each tariff announcement. Negotiations. The US and China signed the Phase 1 trade deal in 2020, with China committing to buy more US products. Global economy. The trade war slowed global trade, impacting other countries as well. Shift in supply chains. Some businesses diversified their supply chains away from China. Geopolitical implications. The trade conflict highlighted broader US-China strategic tensions. How does this trade war affect the global economy? The US-China trade wars restrict the international exchange of goods and services. They make local products expensive, owing to reduced competition. It results in the slowdown of the global economy and inflation within the nation. Lastly, does this war affect the Asian region? Why do you say so? For me, yes, it will affect the Asian region. US-China trade war affects Asia due to disruptions in intricate supply chains. Increased trade tensions will result in economic losses not just for China and the US, but for Asia as a whole. Given the region is highly integrated into global supply chains and has significant trade exposure to both countries, the economic consequences of increased fragmentation could be significant. That's all, and thank you so much for listening. Bye-bye.